good.
Little less. Yeah. Oh my god, it's so good. Oh man.
And I'm playing Magic on my phone. That's awesome. There's lots of good things happening right now.
Oh,
Is he not going to be able to join us tonight? The game? Wow. Is he at the game? Okay. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I was just right. Well, we're still being pursued, aren't we? Yeah, well, especially since a nuclear bomb just basically went off. So I mean, I'm sure they're like, oh, they're over there. Well, dude, I kind of feel really bad. Did we ruin the store's life? Like, we got him back to being a captain, and immediately he crashed his ship, and like all of his crew's toast. Why? But Function manipulated him. Well, now he's gonna probably go back to being in a bar somewhere. Yeah. Right. And then it blew up. How much is a ship in gold? Do we, like, man,
Now I'm
No.
gonna refresh. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah.
See all of us now.
I'm gonna refresh.
Well,
Oscar's
Oscar's
just recording.
gonna record for until the game is over, and then he might be able to jump on.
Is the ship still survived? Is that the gift?
That's awesome.
Retcon.
The ship did not crash. Zuko
It starts off
was
with like an
strong
intro
enough.
video. He's like, and you guys all awaken from a long, interesting dream. And then the whole campaign is just rebooted into the 25th century.
Okay. Futuristic, I'd be down for that.
What it do?
As long as we get to throw some Star Wars in there, I'm good. I hear the Star Wars one shot. Oh wow.
See, that's sick. Sick, man.
Question.
That is fucking cool.
There's a couple spots on the map that we haven't been to that you have little things for, just FYI. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Is the Foundry the new application you want to use for gaming? I'm just trying to remember. Okay. Oh yeah, I've got Roll20 up on a TV, so that's a you thing.
No.
No, you just called it quits.
That's 4. That means the game's gonna go a lot faster towards our ship.
Now I'm just hoping Oscar actually joins us after the game now.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he will.
Probably.
Guys,
Yeah.
we found 2 of the 3 white rings. It was awesome.
Jared, can I just say, holy shit, this is a lot. And you said it's not even complete. Froth.
I've heard good things from multiple DMs and I want to say authors as well use this.
What world animal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Hell yeah. I think we all are.
No.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah. So on that, I got my first COVID shot, so that's cool. We are able to get our shots now. So we are targeting hopefully a mid to late May for our first live session back. So if you haven't got vaccinated yet, definitely go get it. It is possible you can get it because they gave it to me and Jared and Casey.
I mean, as
So
of
go get vaccinated.
Monday, anybody over the age of 16 who wanted it could go get it. So
So go get
I'm
it.
signed up.
Yeah, go get microchip right now.
Can someone send me the link to go sign up for that?
Market Street has them. That wouldn't be too far of a drive for you. And there's multiple Market Street RX. Like, download the app and you can just go on there and sign up for a thing, and you can just do it all online. It took me seriously 5 minutes, and they were like, "Yeah, you're good." And then you go there, and then your next shot, they'll give you a little card, and that's when your next shot will be, and it's done. But Market Street RX, and the one off of Broad near my house.
Market Street, 1 or 2 words.
I think it's 2. Hold on, I'm gonna let my dog out real quick.
That looks like it.
Cool. And I think that's all the. Oh, what do we? I'll just wait. Next week, or do you want to take a break?
Next week, let's go.
How about one more week? And is that Easter? It is Easter.
Sunday's
No,
Easter.
well, no, it's the Monday after. Yeah, so we'll skip this next
And
coming, and then we'll have the following. That's okay.
so we're skipping the 5th, is what you're saying? Heard. Mother's Day is that following Sunday, I believe. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry, that's April, not May. Duh. Never mind, wrong month.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be but we don't do Sundays anymore, actually. So this might actually work better for us because we're doing Mondays. Oh, we'll eventually get back to that, Abe. It's soon. It's coming soon. Also, most likely, this is how it's gonna go down. All live sessions will be on Sundays. All online sessions will be, unless things kind of just have to switch up. Most likely, all online sessions will be Mondays. That way, we can make it easy on us. So if it's a Sunday, it's a live, most likely, and if it's a Monday, it's most likely online.
Woo.
But some Sundays can also be online as well.
I miss rolling real dice.
I do too. I can't wait. It's coming. It's soon. It's here.
I was like this close to getting the Bluetooth dice that you can roll. Bastards.
Felt good. Yeah. Casey called me. He said he had a blast. So he also told me about your house. That's kind of like. Have you seen Joe Magniello's D&D room? It's kind of like it's kind of separate from his whole house. So it's gonna be like that's what I was imagining. Your new house would be like. It's this whole different part of the house that's just yours. So. Yeah.
How big is your current house? Oh.
It's gonna be
Where are you moving to?
Same distance for me. Yeah.
Zuka's weak.
Okay. Where are we? I believe we're where that red square is, just outside of Deep Woods on those mountains. We are just outside of our crash ship, the
Steel Feather.
Steel Feather. Yep, there you go. I was trying to remember it. After trying to run away from the city guards, which we did run away from, but not very well, considering we didn't repair the ship well enough. We didn't do it well enough.
No, what's that?
Let's see. Zuka gets a little bit of vengeance against Bopple, for having broken the urn. Lestor gains his captaincy for all of 2 hours. I guess he's still captain. They just don't have a ship now. Yeah. Tal's, so that's what happened. Okay, right. Tal's family showed up, his uncle, and they showed up unexpectedly to the Steel Feather. And we could see a fire or some glow in the distance. We assume it was a fire.
Coming from Zan's granddad's place, right?
Yeah. Which is not good considering no one was able to check up on that. But I guess we could do that later. Yeah, we're about 20 miles outside the city before crashing the ship in the forest. The ship was on fire. We saved about 7 to 12 of the crew, and the other 180 died. Some ridiculous number. It was a horrible, like, 1 to 10 ratio of survivors. Those 4 lower decks.
That's why you pay for the Lido deck.
Aviary, do you see if anyone has been following us?
I've been trying to keep an eye on behind us, but I can check again. Looks
We should probably. You tell me this, right? We should
Yeah, we need to hide.
We should probably
Guys,
get
we
out of here then. And also, Ave, are you able to help us with that?
Yeah, of course. I do my thing and I slam my staff down and cast Pass Without a Trace.
And how many does that cover?
Doesn't actually say. Each creature you
Radius,
choose
right?
within 30 feet of you. It's just anyone within 30 feet that I choose.
Perfect. Well, as long as we stay close to you, we should be able to get out of here. And do you see trees ahead? Yeah. Well, I would say we head towards the forest, at least for the aerial riders to be more difficult to see us. Yes?
Yeah, I say we head down into the woods, deep woods.
Where we have always been going, Lestor. Back to our ship. But we must go now. Trust me. Well, we will be extra careful. I would say one thing. We need to find a place where I can rest at least for an hour. But we need to hide first. Yep. Yep, because I have Zan's cloak on.
But
Okay. Oh, I see an Okabar. Hello.
yeah, I have advantage because I have my cloak on.
You gave your cloak to function.
I gave my cloak to you, function.
No,
No,
Zan,
No, I'm sorry.
Zan.
That was Zan's.
I was gonna say, yeah, I have the cloak of Elvenkind.
Yeah, so you both have the same cloak. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see here. Avia, you got a 5. Okay, 15. Ooh, okay. All right, fair enough. So as the party makes its way deeper and deeper, you begin to wander through the trees. Who's leading this expedition?
I'll win.
Who's in front? Okay. Go ahead and make a nature check for me real quick, Zuka.
A what check?
A nature check, please.
Oh shit. I'm a little bummed my dice don't roll anymore on the thing here anymore.
Yeah, they updated the API, so it's kind of weird. Okay, 12. All right. So, given the position of the stars and your somewhat familiarity with the region, you're able to make your way a little bit deeper into an area, and eventually you find a pretty good copse, almost a thicket, where everyone kind of huddles up, and you were just trying to find a place to hide. Essentially, there's no sense of real true direction of where you're going. You could probably guess which way is north by the stars. You could try to head east, west. You're not really sure of where you're going, but eventually everybody kind of stops and they all sit down. There are some water skins that are handed out that some of the crew had on them, but there's just not a whole lot that really goes around at this point. And everybody sits down just for a second to tend their wounds once more at a place farther from the crash. Looking up, you still see a faint glow over the ridge, but you guys seem to be in a place of somewhat safety for a while.
Now, is there anyone else that needs to take longer than a short rest?
I just need to heal up a little bit, and I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds 3rd level on myself.
Okay.
Everyone
See
else?
Stubbs walks up. Are we traveling a long time, or are we gonna sit down somewhere and maybe take a nap?
It would seem that Stubbs needs to take a rest.
My old bones just ain't what they used to be. And you can see Lestor come over and give him a hug and rub his back a little bit, and It seems that my friend here is not in as good of a shape as some of us. And looking around, you can see that there are several others, like the half orc with the he only has one tooth anymore, the one that was beat to shit in the first place. His nose has been broken like 4 times now. He broke his nose in the crash, of course, and he is hurting. Bopple is not doing too well either. They're all just kind of looking at you, not really knowing what to do, but just standing there.
Can I look over Stubbs and see if it's more than just physical ailments? Like if he's, I don't know. I doubt he's been poisoned, but like something like that. Like if there's anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, make a medicine check for me.
Some bad rolls today.
Yeah, he looks like he's hurt, but he also looks like he's really freaking tired.
2 and a 3.
Yeah.
So it would seem that we possibly would need to take a long rest if we are to travel as a group.
I want to get away from this wreckage.
Well, how about we take an hour here and then move farther away from the wreckage and then take a long rest?
It's my advice, being from this area, that we don't travel too deep into the deep woods at night, especially with such a large party of injured
What if we stayed on the edge?
near the mountains or the hills.
Closer to the edge, at least. Still in cover.
Yeah, I like that idea.
So, just as a note, where you guys are, your distance from where you are to the City of Leaves is about 50 or 60 miles. So to go to the edge would be about 50 miles, and considering the average walking speed of a human is like 3 to 4 miles per hour, you're looking at several days of walking to get
I
outside.
think you're saying right there, God.
Okay.
Is
You're saying-
that a couple days away?
Oh no, that'll be like an hour or two, but
Yeah.
actually, just probably a couple of hours. If you wanted to walk there until dawn, that would probably get you there, I would say.
So, but we're hidden right now, though, correct?
As far as you know, yeah.
Enough to take a short rest for now, and then I don't need a long rest. Function actually functions without for a good while.
Your function.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, all right. I was
If
waiting.
we're gonna do a short rest, Dave, we'll just stay on watch the whole time.
So if I rest now, I can kind of keep watch when, like, for the whole evening. If y'all want to do it that way, does that sound good? Perfect. Let's do that.
Okay.
So I'll take a short rest now.
Okay. So you immediately see that most of the party just kind of drops down. They start to pass around the water skins, and they seem to be pretty empty. And you can see that Cricket passes it on, even though he's still got a good little bit of blood trickling down. The crew itself kind of sticks together a little bit. You have the crew that's over there. You have Stubbs and Lestor that are off, like, sitting on the root of this large pine that you're all kind of hunkered under, and then the party itself is organized around the trunk. The roots of this pine sort of sweep around and make a nice little, almost a hot tub effect of where it's sunk a couple of feet below the ground. On a bed of dry needles, the boughs hang over pretty well, and you have a pretty good access of everything. You could start a fire if you wanted to. That would probably provide some comfort to those, but there's also always the possibility of you being seen. So as it stands right now, everybody's kind of huddling together. It is a little bit chilly. What do you guys want to do? Who's going to sleep? What watches? How stealthy are you being?
Well, we're just taking a short rest for now. And then we're going to move kind of towards that area.
Sure.
Hey, God, are we kind of all within like a 15-foot radius of each other, or how spread out are we?
Yeah, y'all are all pretty much tuckered in. The 6 that were rescued are kind of taking up the same space, probably 5 feet over there. Lestor and Stubbs are over here. I would say 15 feet wouldn't be too bad. And to answer your question, it looks like one of the crew just happened to have like a canteen on them, and he's been like passing it around. But the rest of them, they probably didn't have water or any type of thing like that, and so they're all just there being thirsty, essentially.
I'll go ahead and give the thirstiest looking one my water skin and tell him to pass it around then.
Okay. They're all, kind of like Frodo, how he tries to take a mouthful and just spills it all over himself, just piss you off. They pass it around, and it's emptied before much longer.
God, can I see? This should probably be Ave, but can I see? Is there any sign that we're being tracked or watched? Can I look around and see if
awesome? Yeah, make that good perception check for me.
Make that good.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go.
Hey.
All right. So, other than the occasional distant pop of some other explosive, some other fuel source going off in the very, very far distance, you hear no sounds of any pursuit of any creatures. If there were dangerous creatures in the area, they were probably scared off by the large, small atomic explosion that just occurred. However, you do also remember that these things are riding what are essentially silent creatures, and that moth riders are probably used for tracking, specifically because they make no noise. Visually, you can't see much. You're half elf, aren't you, Zuka?
No, I'm full wood elf.
Okay, that's right. You're wood elf. Okay, so you do have dark vision. So from what you can see in the near vicinity and the nearby 30, and with the starlight, you don't see any pursuers per se at this point. So you feel like you're pretty safe.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. All right. Who's resting? Who's keeping watch? And are you lighting a fire?
I'm keeping watch.
Okay.
You know what? We could light a fire, guys, and I could cast darkness on it. That way, it doesn't show light.
Oh. Yeah. Cool. Do it.
Thoughts?
That's very clever. I really like that.
Super cool.
That is cool.
Okay. What's the radius on darkness?
Thank God we can use magic.
It is. It's 15 foot.
And you are welcome, Aviary. Okay, cool. And how long does that stay up? Is that a concentration?
Yeah. Here,
Yeah, go ahead and
sorry.
throw it up there. There we go.
Yeah, I think it stays up. It says for up to 10 minutes. That's not very long. But if people are cold, we could do that and then put the fire out or something. I don't know.
We can warm up in 10 minutes and then go to sleep.
And it'll add a sense of comfort for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, Aviary, are you helping with this?
I'll help.
Making the fire?
I'm keeping a watch, but I don't have any way of helping with the fire not being illuminated.
Okay, Zuka, just make another nature check for me real quick.
Guidance.
Either nature or survival.
Guidance gets a D4.
Okay, go ahead and throw that D4 down there. Roll a D4 and add it to that, Zuka.
Oh, you want me to roll a d4? I'm sorry.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
No problem. Guidance is beautiful. Okay, just what you needed. All right. So as you get this fire kind of going, and luckily you're able to cast darkness around you, and before it gets too bright or anything, you're able to dig it down a little bit lower, and you find a nice kind of submerged pit that would hide any of the light that would shine out, and it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of smoke because it's all pine logs that you have in this area. Because your roll was good enough, you're pretty confident that you could keep this fire burning even after darkness was up. It would be very difficult for anyone to see it. Do you want to keep this fire going throughout the break, or do you want to douse it after 10 minutes?
I mean, if I'm feeling confident that we can keep it from being seen.
Yeah, because you beat 20, you're pretty confident.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the only concern I would have would be that the moths flying over would have an aerial view down.
Yeah, and you're under a gigantic pine tree where the boughs are straight up and down, and so by putting it in a pit, you allow the light to not shine out.
Okay.
It would only shine upward, and even then it goes This is true. They are, but it is also a full moon. Actually, is it? No, I'm sorry. It's a quarter waxing gibbous. So it is not. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Should we keep the fire going? We're getting thumbs up. Yeah, we'll keep the fire going, gun.
Okay, sounds good. So as the crew passes around the last of the water skins and they kind of hand them over with a bit of a sheepish look, but they're very appreciative of it. Everyone kind of settles down and hunkers down for a bit of a short rest. Who's resting and who's watching? Okay, Zuka, you're watching.
I'm taking a short rest. Are we actually resting here, or are we just taking a short rest?
Just doing an hour, or are we doing a full 8?
Which
I
way?
thought we were doing short.
Full
I thought
eight.
we were doing short rest and then going to the tree line, and then we can rest.
How long is Pass Without a Trace good for?
10 minutes.
Oh shit. Yeah. No, it says up to an hour.
Or is it up to now?
No, up to an hour. Never mind. You're right. Awesome.
I say we just rest for an hour, let people kind of catch their breath, and then let's try and move where we can get a little bit more secluded away from where the explosion was at.
Okay. Sounds good. Roll some dice here. Gets their hit dice. Out. Okay. Zuka, go ahead and make a perception check for me, please. Okay. So through the rest of your watch, it's only an hour, so there's not a whole lot of issue. The rest of the crew once they hunker down, you just start to hear kind of a light snore from a couple of them. They are very tired, and after a sporadic rushing out, it left them pretty much exhausted. They stink of sweat and adrenaline, and they're probably pretty thankful to have a nice warm fire as it starts to get pretty cold. You realize, especially now that you're settled down and stopped moving, that it is chilly in this night because it's you're kind of in the higher altitudes, and you prevented a point of exhaustion, or at least the chance of it, by lighting that fire and keeping it lit. So that was probably a pretty smart thing to do. And as you're watching and you're kind of patrolling the lip of this small little alcove that you're at, you're going along, and under the moon, when the clouds clear, the moon starts to shine down really brightly, and you see what is this kind of shimmering flash. And it stops you for a second. You remain really still, and you look and you see it again, and it's repeating. And it's a silvery glimpse of something that's shining or reflecting the light of the moon. And as you look a little bit longer, you realize that it's part of a river, or at least some type of water. And as you begin to look around a little bit more with that knowledge, you realize that this landscape is really familiar. Even if there's just something about it that really brings you home, or really makes you think that you've been here before. Make a history check for me real quick. Okay. Yeah, there's just this nagging feeling that you've seen all this before.
Is it swamp-like, or?
No, it's not swamp-like at this point.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and you continue your rounds, just kind of watching for any trouble. Eventually, the hour is up. The fire is kind of slowed down a little bit, and Function leans forward, ready to go. Lestor and Stubbs are both asleep. They're hugging each other.
Is everyone ready?
Are we moving already?
I think
Yeah.
guys.
I'll go around very quietly and start to jostle everyone just to wake them up
Okay.
and let them know, hey, we need to get moving.
Very good. Very good. Okay.
It's still moonlight out, you said?
Yeah, the moon is now brightly lit out with everyone. So, which way should we be going?
Northwest.
To the southwest.
Southwest.
Yeah. I think that our plan should be that we stay along the mountain ridge, not go too deep into the deep woods, but enough that we have cover.
I just want to use the shadow of the trees as cover. That's it. Like any
Okay.
deepers are.
Make for
Right.
Mount Hargrim.
Yeah, you guys are definitely in a very heavily wooded area. There are, just these these struts of rock that stick out of the ground that look like they're capped mountains, but that is surrounded and covered by hilly greenery, essentially. So yeah, you're very much in the deep woods, in the thick of it at this point. Okay.
Hey
So
guys,
as-
is there a tall vantage? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, is there a tall vantage point kind of nearby, like on any of like the stones or anything that might be 50, 60 feet up?
Sure, make a perception check for me real quick. I'm going to make you roll perception all night.
Oh my god.
Okay, not bad. You start to just, as everyone's waking up and moving around, you look around and you do see the valley bit that you were in earlier. There's on the right hand side, or I guess the northeastern side, there is a large outcropping of rock, and it looks like kind of like Pride Rock on Lion King, but at the very tip of it, there is a single lone solitary pine that just stretches immensely tall, and it looks like you could probably get a very good view of the valley that you're in from that point.
How far away is that?
That's probably a quarter mile.
Oh shit. Okay. But there's not any tall rock right next to us within 50, 60 feet, or anything tall that I could get up and get a good view.
You could try to climb the pine that you're in right here.
I mean, I'm thinking I'll shadow step to the top.
Okay. All right. So you wait, and since the whole area is kind of covered in darkness, you're able to. Everyone else sees Zuka just kind of looking around. He looks up, and then like Batman, just disappears in a puff of smoke. Some of the sailors, oh, what was he? What? They start to whisper amongst each other. Zuka, you appear at the very top of one of these pines. It's pretty comparable to the rest of all the other pines in the area, but luckily you're on the top of a downward slope, and as you look around, you get a good view of the valley. What are you looking for?
I'm just looking for any of the moth riders, and then just to see if there's like clear path kind of heading towards the southwest.
Okay. Looking up, you see the glistening stars. You see the bright moon. You see a couple of clouds. You can't really see any signs of pursuit or anything like that. If you look back towards where the crash was, the large orangish yellowish glow, it's kind of difficult to see anything that's of detail right there because it's a sharp contrast between light and dark. So you're not able to notice too much. As far as a path goes, it looks like you're in the deep forest. You don't see any treaded paths or anything that's kind of down. So you would have to be going through kind of a difficult terrain to make your way that way.
Okay. I'll shadow step back down, and I'll just say, "Hey, it doesn't look like we're being followed."
Okay, you scare the shit out of one of the sailors as you appear right next to him, but then you say that, my goodness. Okay, what
So
are we
what's
doing?
the plan, guys?
Southwest, like you said.
Sounds good. Dave, Zan.
Away from
Yeah.
crash site, at least. And then we should probably take a long rest for our travelers that are joining us. Because
Talvin. Oh, sorry,
like
go
they're
ahead.
about to die.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hizuka, this is going to take us back towards where you're from, right?
Yeah, if we head further northwest.
You are from this area,
Yes, I was born in the North Deep Woods.
and this
Right,
is
yeah.
as we're walking, right? This is as we're walking.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are from this area. Sorry.
Oh, and God, while we're talking, are we getting closer to where I saw that shimmer from the river, or what direction are we heading in?
So the land kind of moves and shifts a little bit to where going north to go east or west and then go back south makes more sense. So just following the land, you are kind of going closer to that shimmer of whatever it was.
Okay. But yeah, no, So I was born in the deep woods and grew up there as a child before my village was destroyed by orcs. Specifically, I think they were called the Blood Pact. But I became orphaned and ultimately found my way to Kazimir Shadow.
Is there any place that you know, any small villages or any place that we might stumble across, or do people are mostly passing through in the deep woods?
From what I remember, and God, if you need me to do a history check, that would be helpful. But from what I remember, I just remember my village where I grew up. I never really traveled much outside my village since I was so young.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And Zan, you being sort of from this region as well, you know that the deep woods are wildly uninhabited except for by like random, like lonely people, creepy druids, some really large monsters, witches. There's a lot of deepwood witches. Like you actually met one, Zivu Arath, who was at the big ball that hit on Okabar.
Yeah.
She's from the deep woods as well.
God, would I
Stupid sexy.
know if there was any kind of like are we far enough away that like the impact of the Fae is no longer a concern with magic and things of that nature?
Make an Arcana check for me. Okay. You know that the Fae is always parallel to this world. In certain places, it's almost as if two pieces of paper are touching. Some places they're really close together. Some places they're really far apart. The City of Leaves is a touch point between the Fae and the normal world. That being said, even though where you are may not be a direct contact to it, there's still a lot of influence, a lot of wild magic that runs rampant through these areas. A lot of strange happenings in the deep woods. There's a reason why it's not inhabited, except for by crazy people.
Guys, there's a lot of weird magic in the deep woods. Back home, they said only crazy people or only crazy people hung out in the deep woods, because you never know what's going to happen. It's still very close to interconnection between the Fae, so I definitely
that
pay
sure does
attention.
sound like us.
Say it again, Function.
That sure does sound like us, Sam.
Yeah, we are getting weird, man. We are certainly getting weird.
Well, it seems like you and Zuka know this area the best. So, I'd definitely say we keep going, but I will trust y'all's judgment on where that is that we go next.
My advice is to not go too deep into the woods. Stay along the tree. Stay along this path that we're on, and I'd say head for Mount Hargrim, I believe it is. There's a city nearby, Lul Lily, and a lake, so we can head for that and try and get out of here.
I think that's a pretty good plan. There's not a lot between here and there, so unless we want to go back to the City of Leaves, where we don't seem super welcome
No,
at the moment. I mean, you
I'm
guys,
not going back there. I don't care what you guys do.
Nope.
I can still go.
But hey, we had fun in your city. Yeah, we had fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, shall we move?
Yeah, let's gonna move on. Try and get. You said it was how long to kind of where we would be at the edge of the valley there, God? Like
Don't know.
by dawn, you said we could get there.
Yeah, you're. If you continue going this way, it looks like probably around dawn you'd start to go around the mountain. And again, this is very much an estimation of distances traveled through the dark. People like Stubbs are not going to move too quickly, so it is going to be a very slow, very cautious kind of pace, unless you guys want to make it go faster.
Well, I can.
Work. Oh
Pretty
wait,
sure I can at least carry one of them.
Yeah, maybe you carry Stubbs' function, and I like your idea, Abe.
Oh! You pick up Stubbs and you continue on your way. He's a very lightweight, just kind of elderly gentleman. He's taking care of himself. He's fit. He's not heavy at all. And so eventually he gets to where like his hip kind of hurts as you're carrying like this. So you eventually have kind of awkward like how do I hold you positioning. Eventually he just ends up on your shoulders, like his arms over your head. It's the most comfortable way, but it looks like an oversized like 3-year-old on your shoulders as you're tromping through the woods, and you keep forgetting to duck low under some trees, so Stubbs keeps getting hit. But you're going much faster than you normally would.
Oh, sorry, Stubbs.
Go! He's got pine needles coming out of his mouth and not happy, but moving much quicker. So, what's your marching order for the party? I'm assuming that Talverin and his 2 friends are behind you guys a little ways, and the rest of the crew are behind that. Lestore's probably traveling with you guys. What's y'all's marching order?
I would kind of range ahead of the party. Just like my brother and my father are both kind of rangers, so like it's not unfamiliar for me. So,
and I'll keep an eye on
I
the
would
rear.
just scout ahead a little bit.
Okay.
So I guess me and Zuka would be in the middle then.
Okay. Okabar's there too, getting hammered. Zan, go ahead and make a nature check for me, please.
Nature
Nature
it's
or
a kind
survival.
of check we
whichever
can
one.
do.
Maybe survival actually would be better.
I feel
count that
like
as-
I feel like this is the game where it's been used the most. Because before this, I don't remember doing a nature check for real.
You guys haven't been in nature too much.
We haven't done it
That's-
because I would have been like, "I'll
Yeah.
do it," but never came.
Yep. All right. So
The druid will do it.
as you
Yeah.
begin to go through, just kind of through everything, there's what seems to be kind of the distance closes in on you, and you keep getting everything starts to look exactly the same. You pass a rock and you're like, you think to yourself, you don't say it loud, you're like, man, I really think we passed that rock like 10 minutes ago, and you continue and you keep on moving and going in, and it's a very strange kind of sensation. And eventually, as you're walking through this kind of lower spot, your feet start to kick up little tufts of mist, of fog. And this kind of thing happens pretty frequently around wooded areas, things like that. But as you go a little bit deeper, the fog starts to roll in, and it looks almost as if the sky becomes overcast as you continue going, and the fog begins to thicken in these woods, and the only source of light that you have is from the full moon above, and even it starts to almost break out, and you continue to go along, you continue to walk through everything. Eventually you do almost have to stop yourself as you hear a from your foot, and you look down. It looks like there's a small brook or some type of trickling stream, not very large, but you begin to walk along that, and you realize that joins up with other trickling streams, and eventually you begin to hear the running of water. And thankfully, some of the crew kind of come up to that, and they start to fill up their water skins and start to wash off, some blood from them. And they take just a minute to kind of access the water, essentially.
God, can I
Yep.
check and make sure that the water doesn't seem suspect?
Yes, you can make a nature check for me.
Come on, nature check.
As the kids say, is the water sus?
It's the
I would have
water
gotten
sucks.
in the back of the group, so I guess not. I don't know where he was.
Yeah. So, from what you can tell, this is a very refreshing kind of mountain stream. The air itself is cool, which makes this water freezing, but it looks clear. You know, what harm is there from a stream, right?
I don't know. It's the deep woods.
More Dasani, let's be honest.
Is it? Yeah. Is it Voss?
It's just all bottled water just flowing down. It's fine. So you guys take like just a 5-minute break through the walking. Stubbs does not want to get off of Function's shoulders, so Function just sits there since he doesn't need water either. And Lestor hands one of his water skins up to Stubbs, and Stubbs is just leaning on Function. The man is tired. He's been revived. He's had a day.
Is he holding him like a barrel, or is he on his shoulder like a child?
Like a child.
Relax,
Right.
I know you've been through a lot.
Ooh,
I know what it's like to die, and I can only imagine what it was like for you.
it's true. It's been a long day. I'm going to be thankful for any type of rest or sleep. Or is there like an inn that we're heading to? Or
Hopefully soon, but for right now, I feel like survival is number one on the priority list. Yes.
very well, yes. So is that a motel then that we're heading to?
Well, to my knowledge, the nearest town is the city of Mololi, near Mount Harcum, which is probably a few days away.
Literally. Oh, that's quite a trek. We won't get there by morning, will we?
No. But hopefully we will come up upon somewhere to rest soon.
Where are we going to sleep then?
Well, I don't. Is this area?
Hmm?
This area? Yes,
Yes,
this
no.
area. Actually,
On the-
this area.
On the ground?
Unless you happen to have a hammock.
What? And Lestor kind of pats him on the legs. Do not worry. You can have my jacket, and we can roll up together. And Stubbs is like, oh, okay.
Hey, God, I'll overhear him and I'll say I have a spare bedroll. I'll give you my bedroll.
Oh, I would appreciate that. Are we stopping
roll.
here?
I believe I have a bedroll as well that I really don't need.
And Lestor says, oh, beautiful. I will take it and put it to good use, my friend.
Yes. And I will keep watch throughout the evening.
Well, are we stopping here? Is this a good place at the side of the river?
Aviary? Zuka?
I got a bad feeling about this. I'm not sure why. God, is this kind of where I saw the shimmer earlier?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Yeah. Earlier I got a weird feeling kind of looking at this area. Kind of was reminded of maybe a place I had been before. So I just have a bad feeling. But certainly if we want to make camp here, we can. But I would maybe suggest we keep moving.
It's this moment that you kind of notice that there's what you'd expect nearby a stream. The chirping of crickets, the bellowing of bullfrogs, things like that. You hear none of it. The only thing that you hear is the rushing of water. And this sound is punctuated by the oh, very faint, very far off kind of wolf howls. But the immediate area seems to be almost dampened, quieted down by this thick fog that rolls on top of the water and billows off of the water and settles itself onto the land. Right now it's up to about your thigh level.
Can we get out of the fog? I mean, is it possible we can go back up the hill where the fog isn't touching us?
Are you want to lead them up the hill?
I mean, can we get back up the hill, but then still across where we're not in the fog, but still heading towards our destination?
You can certainly try. From where you are right now, I mean, it's very thickly wooded right here. And you guys have been traveling for several miles at this point to arrive at this kind of large flowing river. And the fog itself is not. It's not like a typical fog, which would surround the entire area. It's tending to stay near the ground, essentially. So you still have a little bit of visibility. It's not quite as good as it would be on a clear night. But if you want to try to turn around and go back, you certainly can.
No, I don't want that to be my decision for the party. Do you guys have a bad feeling, or do you guys want to keep going?
Well, if you have a bad feeling, then we should probably keep going.
Does anyone else feel like we've kind of been in this kind of area before?
It feels like we've been here we've been going in circles, in my opinion.
Oh.
Really? Okay. So at that point, I'll hear that and I'll think maybe they're right. And I'll fly up.
Okay.
And I'm looking for the crash site. How far are we roughly from the crash site?
Make a perception check on me.
Say that again?
Sorry?
Say that again?
Make a perception check for me, please. You look back the direction that you've come, and the only thing you see is an unending sea of leaves, trees, and this low rolling fog that tends to dip up and show up in different places. You can't see too much from the far distance because you don't have dark vision, right?
No, I do not.
Okay. I'm not going to make you roll disadvantage because it's pretty good. From what you can see, where you think that the ship crash should be, it's either calmed down, it might be hidden behind some of the mountains that you've traveled down away from, or it might be in another direction that you're not sure of. But all that you see completely surrounding you is darkness, the green of the woods, and a very white-gray fog.
So I don't even see the mountains?
At this point, no, you can't see the mountains from a distance. You don't even see the stars. The only thing you see above is just a small point of the moon as the overcast clouds have kind of choked everything else off.
Okay. Alright then. I'll fly back down and I'll relay that info, no matter how creepy it sounds.
Well, based on that.
So yeah, I went up there and really could only see the forest.
Did it feel like we had traveled that far yet?
I couldn't tell. I couldn't even see the mountains we left.
I'm starting to think that we're starting to get into the deep woods, as I remember that sometimes it can be a strange place. But I think it's best we try and find maybe a spot where we can continue to head towards our destination. And if we see a nice area, maybe a cave or some kind of secluded area where we can rest comfortably, we keep going. But I don't think stopping here by a river, especially with kind of the mysterious fog around us, it's a good idea.
Well, would following the river be a good idea?
Can we tell which direction the river runs, Scott?
From what you can tell, it goes from the right to your left. Again, without seeing the stars, you don't know which direction you're actually facing at this point.
So Aviator didn't see any stars because of the fog?
No, just the moon, because it's also overcast now.
Oh, yeah. Okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. All right.
So really just the bright moonlight was the only thing that I could
That
get
part.
through.
Well, If you think we should keep moving, then I would trust y'all's judgment. But we do have to rest soon.
Yeah,
Because look at this guy. Like,
I know.
I can move
Ooh.
his mouth. Like, it's just, he's moving just all wrong.
Yeah, I understand. We don't want to risk exhaustion, but we also don't want to risk our lives if there is some kind of fey creature or.
So I think we can travel for a little while longer, but we will eventually need to rest.
Yeah, it's very suspect. I'm reminded of old Baba in my village being a kind of a creepy witch, and these types of things happening sometimes outside of our village. But anyways,
Hey, Baba.
yeah, her name was Old Baba.
Oh, listen. We need to avoid old people. They tend to die around us. Just letting you know. It's happened before. It'll happen again.
I don't
So-
think this is someone that we have to worry about dying. More the opposite to us.
Okay. Well, we should
I
probably
don't-
avoid her at all costs.
All right. I say we keep moving. What does the rest of the party say?
So as you're saying this, there is a bed that floats down the water for just a little bit, and Stubbs looks at it, kind of floating in the fog, and it disappears.
Did everyone see that, or just
Nope, everybody saw that.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know
like
how
a wishing.
right here.
Yeah, we should probably get out of here.
Yeah. It's certainly, we don't want to be lulled into a false sense of security. Stay vigilant. Let's keep moving, but try and keep your eyes out. And let's try and find a safer spot to get to.
What were you saying,
Hey, God.
Xanthar?
God, as I've been ranging out a little bit ahead of them, A, have I gotten lost? Like, have I lost track of them in all this fog? And B, if I haven't lost track of them, have I come across any kind of like caves or like little kind of areas that like might be a good place for us to rest, or is it just like getting worse and worse?
So as you're going out there, and you're keeping in range of their voices, because they're certainly not keeping it down, especially after the bed incident that you cast up to scare Stubbs. He was terrified of their minor illusion that you cast, and so you definitely hear the voices behind you still. You guys don't know that. You make your way out, and you look at the. You try to keep your hands to the trees, and as you go a little bit farther, you almost realize that the farther you get from the party, the thicker the fog almost seems. It is a diffuse, very sparse fog that cuts your visibility down from what would normally be 60 feet in dark areas down to like 30 feet, down to 20 feet, just very near. And as you go along, you're kind of moving from tree to tree, just keeping the party behind you, keeping your eyes out. And as you move up, there's a tree that you're about to reach for, and it's just very oddly shaped. You don't think too much of it until you almost put your hand on it. And as you move your hand towards it, you draw back and you realize that it's a deer antler skull. Just a skull with the deer antlers sticking up on a post. You stop for just a minute and you look around it. It's just standing there. Probably about 4 feet tall. Look at it for a second. Think that's really strange. Move off to your left. 15 feet from that, you see another post with a boar's head stuck on it. You can see part of the flesh of the pig is still on there. Its eyes fallen out, but still the gaping eye sockets just staring out into the emptiness. Both of those are facing where the party is currently. What do you do?
I would come back towards the party.
Okay, you come back to the
Um,
party.
Guys, there's some really, really strange shit out there. I just found a deer skull on a post, and I found like a half-eaten boar head on a post, looking our direction. I don't know if it's a warning or someone has really terrible exterior decorating skills. I don't know.
We also just saw a bed floating down a river.
That is weird, but almost more normal. When you're tired, you see weird stuff. Usually not skulls.
Zan, you said it was a deer skull?
A deer skull and a boar skull.
God, would that be familiar to me?
Make a history check for me, please. That's weird. It's real weird.
Genius.
Fucking weird, man. Avery, do you go out there and see?
I thought we were near it.
No, not yet. It's probably, I would say, 50 feet out into the darkness from where you guys are kind of clustered up next to the river.
Well, Zan, did it look like an old person lived there?
If the old person likes the same kind of headgear that Avery did, then yes.
I mean, they tend to wear stuff like aviary wears, so it would make sense, right? I don't know, Zuka. Should we go towards this?
Why are you worried
Or
about an old
not.
person?
Well, Zuka told us this story that he grew up on about the what did you call
Old
her?
Baba. Yeah. Maybe a
Old
hag.
Baba.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is old, and you know our history with old people. We tend to kill them. So I thought, we would stay away from this one. She didn't do anything wrong to us yet, right?
Yeah, well, right now I think any kind of native could at least point us in a direction. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we are lost.
At this point, you see Aviary just disappear into the fog. Aviary, as you approach the pole, it doesn't take long to find it because you know what you're looking for. You approach it, and it looks like it's just your typical kind of white-tailed deer that's found in these deep woods. It's nothing spectacular. It wasn't an old deer, or you can't find anything of significance. Its antlers aren't nearly as large and impressive as yours, of course, but it seems to have been there for a long time. Its skull is bleached. There's no flesh or skin left on there, no hide. And the bone itself has almost turned a milky white color from being bleached in the sun.
Okay.
As you turn around, you start to walk back, but
Did
you
I see
realize
anything?
there are voices to your right. You came from this direction. You're certain of it, but it seems that the party is actually over here. So you come a little bit closer to the voices, and it looks like you had gotten turned around, even though it was just like 50 feet away. In this fog.
Yep, just looked weird.
Well, I say we either rest here or move on.
I'm not resting here with all of these furniture coming down the road, down the waterway. No. We will not do that.
That's right. Okay, then we move.
Let's
That's
just
the
find
least
it in.
thing that's come down anything that we've ever encountered. Furniture? Really? All right.
Yeah, I say we keep heading in the direction that we were heading. Everyone fill up your water skins and
Careful of
Let's
the pillow cubs.
Okay.
I will also fill up my water skin for others to use.
Yeah, and
Now
I'll
the-
make sure to grab mine from that dude that I gave it to. And
Okay, yeah, he gave it back, but it was empty when he did.
You better give it back, motherfucker.
Yeah, sure.
No, I'll just tell him I need this to refill, bud.
Yeah.
He handed it back. It was empty when he did. But yeah, they're the crew is over there, kind of washing their wounds. They look like they're much more refreshed. Just to have a little water break. So you guys were moving what you believe to be kind of in northern northwestern direction, where you ran across the stream. It was rolling from your right to left. To go to continue your original direction, you would have to cross the stream, and you cannot see the other side of it at this point. If you wanted to go towards the stream where Xanthar found the deer skull, it would be to your left. If you want to go right, you can go that way instead.
well, I think to the right takes us back to the City of Leaves. To the left seems the direction that we need to head. But if we go straight, it takes us deeper into the deep woods. You guys think we should just chance it and see what we run into? Zan made a good point that we could run into someone that might be willing to help us. But probably not.
I will leave that to your decision.
If we're gonna chance anything, we should just chance resting here.
Yeah, and going straight, you'd have to cross that river too.
Okay.
We go left or we stay here. So
Right. Okay. Well, let's let's take a vote.
let's
What
go.
is everyone-
I say left.
Okay.
I say we follow the river, but stay on this side of it if we're gonna continue.
So he says left too.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
If you guys would like, I still have my ring of water walking. I'm happy to see how far this river goes across.
As long as you can get back safely without any problems, I don't
Right.
see you.
I'm not God, I don't know for sure function, but I can certainly try.
How deep is the river gun?
Well said. I believe in
I
you.
don't know.
And just as I say that and I hit his shoulder, he gets some inspiration just in case.
Okay.
It's completely meta, but that's the kind of inspiration my wife gives me. Every day when I leave for work, she says, drive safe and watch out for crazy people.
It is inspiration. You get a D6 every time she says it.
Yep. Okay. Okay. So Zan, what are you doing?
I will go explore over on the river, and using my ring of water walking, I will carefully try and make my way out into the river. Also, I would be extra careful if I thought there was a current. Is there like any kind of current? Is that kind of obvious?
There is. It's the only sound you can hear in this very quiet atmosphere is the kind of fairly swift movement of this, what you assume to be a river, not so much a stream going across. Okay.
Cool. Well, then before I start doing that, you said we're in a forest.
That's correct.
I would love to find myself some sort of like long hiking stick style branch, maybe like honestly double my height, and I'd
Okay.
love to trim some branches off of it and carry it with me.
Easy enough. From one of the pine trees, you pull down. It's a little thicker than a walking stick would like. Your hand doesn't quite grip it all the way, but it is 10 feet tall. No problem.
Awesome. As I get maybe 5 to 10 feet out into the river,
Okay.
I'd like to poke it down and see how far I can push into the water.
Okay, so 5 feet down, you start to push it down, and it goes not quite halfway down. Looks
About
like it's
5
maybe
feet.
about 4 or 5 feet. Yeah,
As I kind of move a little bit further out,
still going. Okay,
how can I see the other side? Is there any? I mean, you said I could see maybe 15 to 30 feet.
Yeah, you can see about 20 feet at this point. As you go out in the center is where you really see the current moving. Luckily, with water walking, you don't get moved along with the current. You're able to push the pole down, and you grab the top of it, but you do feel it. You feel it hit, and then the current kind of takes it away. You pull it back up. It looks like it might be 10 feet deep at this point. Keep going.
I'll keep going.
Okay. As you step forward, you stick in the ground or in the water, excuse me, and it goes all the way down. You can't quite. You begin to hear voices straight ahead from you. Whisperings.
Can I make out anything that they're saying?
Make a perception check. Man, not with the water flowing around underneath it. You just barely caught it, just at the edge of your hearing, and you hear it dead ahead.
I would super quickly. Let me just check something out.
Okay.
Yeah, about how far away would you say I'm still within 120 feet of the guys?
Yeah, you haven't. You've gone maybe 40 feet at this point from the edge of the bank.
Cool. Well, then I'm going to use the cantrip message and point back in the general direction of Zuka and Function, and I am going to pull out a very small piece of copper wire, and I'm just going to very quickly whisper, I hear whispers up ahead. I'm going to investigate. Hopefully I'm not going to die.
Okay, you guys hear that? No problem.
Yep. Can we respond to it?
We know what direction it came from. The message.
What's that, Aviary?
Do we know what direction it came from, or just who?
It came from the river. I mean, you all saw him walk out there.
Okay.
And you sent it to who, Xanthar?
I would have sent it to Zuka.
Okay, Zuka heard it. Nobody else heard that.
Okay. I'll relay what I heard very quietly. Hey, Zan just sent me a message saying that he heard whispers across the bank. He's gonna check it out.
Okay, Zan, are you just walking? Are you stealthing, or how are you doing this?
Now that I've heard whispers, I would be stealthily kind of creeping my way across with my stick kind of ahead of me. So
Okay.
just held out in front where it's probably sticking forward about 6 feet in front of me.
Okay. Make a stealth check for me real quick.
You have a D6 if you need it.
Hope I don't need it on stealth.
Nah, you good.
Okay, Zan, you begin to go forward from the direction you started, continuing across the river. Function, Aviary, Zuka, as you guys are sitting there, you're kind of huddled close together, just discussing the situation, when you see a stick go right in front of your face as Xanthar walks onto the shore from where he was.
Wait, what?
Xanthar, as you continue to go forward, your stick finally comes out, and you see a group of people that was hard to decipher, but it's your party. You went straight across the entire time, but somehow you ended up back at your party.
Holy shit.
Guys, I was investigating across the river. What are you guys doing over here?
We never moved.
No, that's not that makes no sense. I literally just walked straight across the river. I just sent you a message.
We saw you.
I pointed at you over there to send the message.
The
Oh, hey.
Deepwood.
God, super quick question. Would I have if they were watching me
Mm-hmm.
cross the river, when I came across, did I come up behind them or did I come towards them?
It was like you were walking. It was like you walked out and they were on the opposite bank, and you were walking towards them off of the river.
Like you walked and then
They
From
literally
their
saw-
perspective, from their perspective, you walked out, turned around, and came straight back. From your perspective, you never ventured. You went straight across.
Huh.
Well, the Deepwood.
Super quick. Does everybody remember their name?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it sounds like there's something magical going on.
it would sound like the only differences that we have noticed as of late is the place with the skulls. Would you not say?
Yeah.
It looks like we have to go solve a problem then.
That, or we're being led, as that's the only option to head towards.
Yeah.
Well, if we are to do this, we should probably leave, the weaker ones behind. So,
Are you talking about me?
yes,
Stubb
unfortunately,
says from up here. Oh, okay.
Is that,
just keep
is that,
it.
is that a smart idea, though? If we leave them?
Yeah,
No.
well, unless you want to die, because we have this really bad time with killing people. But it's okay. We're going to stop that.
I think what we should do, and it sounded like we were all kind of in agreement earlier, is head towards the skull and, what Zan and Abe checked out earlier. I have some extra key I can use and cast Pass Without a Trace. And then, cast that on our party. And we can journey that way and see where it leads. And if we start to feel it's going to get a little sketchy, then we can figure out what to do to protect the weaker people at that point.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, though, and totally related but unrelated, how would you guys feel about me shooting a firebolt across this river and seeing if it comes back at us?
Can you catch them again?
No, that's why I need function to stand in front.
How about you take us, go like 10 or 15, or what's the range on firebolt? Like
120 feet.
No, what's the impact?
Oh, it's a firebolt. It's
Oh, just firebolt. Okay.
Target,
yeah.
I think it's fireball.
Capability.
No, not fireball.
It's in a straight line.
I didn't ask how big the room was.
Is it a straight line? What is the radius of this?
Yeah, it's a
Blast.
straight line.
No radius.
It's a mote
Straight
of
line, right?
fire. Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Well,
Well, listen, why do I have to
You can do that.
move out of the way?
I was trying to click on this.
We just can move out of the
Are
way.
you sending a firebolt across the river there, Zan?
Shoot that
No,
if you
That
want.
was an accident.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it's silly for me
Oh,
to
done. It's happening.
stand there.
Okay, accidentally talking about it. Zan, the small red glow instantly fades into the fog. You wait a second. You don't hear an impact. You don't see anything. You just wait. The only thing you hear is the trickle of water.
Hey Zan, how far out would you say you walked before you ended up in front of us again?
60 feet, maybe?
Well, you were 50 feet and probably in the middle of it, so it might be 100 feet wide.
God, are there trees connecting over the river?
Nah, at 100 feet wide, you can see like some of them overhanging on the boughs that kind of lean over, but nothing that connects the two.
Well, does anyone have detect magic?
Tal's still with us, right? Does he have detect magic?
Oh, let me look real fast. Getting that he's there. Terrible of me, I know.
That's all good. We pretend like they're not there when they're not here.
Even when they are sometimes.
No, he doesn't have it. He has dispel magic, but not.
No, I'm sorry, I don't have it today. Maybe tomorrow.
Well,
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Zan. Let's just go towards the skull.
onward.
Okay. Who's leading this soiree?
Oh, and God, I'm gonna cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay, go ahead and mark that off.
Okay.
Can you stack it if I cast it too?
No, just one effect.
Okay, just making sure.
Okay, Zuko, you passed without your trace. The party, yeah, it's expensive. The party begins to move towards the skulls. Let's go ahead and take a potty break real quick in case anybody needs it. I know I do. And we'll join back in about 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah, because we're about to fight something. That's why.
Is Oscar back?
I mean, I don't know,
He
maybe.
just chatted, said LOL.
I know. He might be listening in the background because he's a penis like that sometimes.
He said he was checking out the stream
Yes.
and then I had to go do some stuff.
I know. I just recorded that, though, so I want him to catch that.
Oscar,
Yeah.
I saw your new computer. It looks dope.
Oh, yeah, that shit looks awesome, bro. Definitely.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, cool. Be right back.
"17 minutes into whatever we do next, my firebolt's just gonna like return, just like flying back through somewhere and just hit somebody."
Maybe. I think maybe Zuka got it, saying that it might just be a spell to not let us cross.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Oh,
Man, I gotta say the one really awesome thing that you can do in an online session that you can't do in a live session is sneakily send a message to the DM and be like, "Hey man, I'm gonna cast this illusion spell just to fuck with the people in my party because it seems like fun."
Yep. You could definitely be more sneaky. You can also whisper other people a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whisper function and the fact that you can mute yourself are nice.
Usually it's just me whispering to Oscar because he's like right next to me. Did you say you hooked up Roll20 up to a TV?
Like I have my laptop hooked up with an HDMI to my TV, and then I just have a separate window for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I feel like that seems like a good plan, and I'm a little upset
Literally,
for not
laptop.
doing it. Yeah, when we shut down this last store, I just like picked up several TVs. So like I just have two of them literally sitting, like two giant TVs just sitting behind my chair that I'm sitting in. Like not hooked up to anything, and like
I had a wall mount. I could have another screen over here, but I don't want to get a wall mount.
Yeah, I have a wall mount in the garage, and now I'm just like thinking about it. I'm like, do I want to hook this up like right across from my chair here? Could be genius.
Okay, so who thinks that we're about to go like straight into a battle with like some kind of magical witch type character?
I really hope not. I think he just really had to pee or had something else to do.
Well, I
I
feel like we're being forced to have to go in that direction. No.
I feel like he's trying to not let us cross. I feel like we should follow that and just continue along the river.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say for sure that I wouldn't be upset if we like immediately went into some kind of encounter with a crazy witch person.
The Witch of the Fog.
Oh, God, hey, what's up, God? I didn't even see you.
Oh, hey guys,
Hey, what's up, man?
what's going on?
There's nothing meta happening here.
I don't care if you guys talk meta. Don't worry.
Definitely not preparing for a witch battle.
So did we
Wait, which battle?
which witch battle?
Which what?
Did we take a long rest?
Nope.
No.
I was so confused. I was like, I thought we were gonna do one, and then all of a sudden people were like, we're not doing one. I think Darren just talked about resting a lot.
Well, Darren being the warlock, he only needs an hour. So, you know.
Dan, you're a warlock too, right?
Yes.
Multi-class.
Uh-huh. The moral of that story is that I did change some spells, thinking that we were going to be taking a long rest, and I don't actually remember what I had there before.
Don't worry about it. You changed them walking along. Whatever.
That's my bad. Sorry if I screwed shit up there.
What just
No,
drew
it's
up?
no big deal.
Oh, you're good. Okay, Darren, you with us?
Yep.
Good to go?
Yep. I'm ready.
Okay.
Bye.
Give me 1 second.
When did you get that? When you had it. So yeah, that's what
Is there a music playing?
Except it doesn't matter
There is.
anything. I'm not against
It's
the
very
wall.
creepy
I have
music.
one.
I don't hear it either, Sam.
Okay, it's
Oh,
pretty
mine
quiet.
stopped.
You just stopped. Try this again.
I think I turned it down super low.
It was from
I just turned mine up and I still don't hear it.
I'm
Okay,
seeing
I-
it's Haunted Ramparts, but I'm not hearing anything either.
It's pretty slow. It's pretty ambient. Can you hear
I
anything
think
now?
it's just breathing right now. It just sounds like awkward breathing.
You guys don't hear that at all?
I hear it now.
I hear it. It's very ominous.
Okay, good.
Well, that's Ruddy Mysterious.
Just 1 second. I gotta do something real quick. You know what? I'll put it right here. Still waiting on function?
Oh, we're good.
Oh, okay. There is function. Well, then now you're just waiting on God. So give me just 2 seconds. I'm gonna get something real quick.
Just lost Zuko.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go.
Is he with us? Or is he? Oh, he's not with us anymore. Hold on. Let's give him just a for a second. Okay.
Much better.
I hear chains.
Yeah, that
Are
was
they
creepy.
chains?
Yeah, for a second there was a chain. That was creepy.
Interesting. There he is.
Sorry, guys.
No.
I just
We're all
put my enchilada plate away.
with your chopsticks.
Oh, the enchiladas.
All right. So, as the party continues its way deeper and deeper into what is just this mist-filled forest, the mist has gotten much thicker. It pervades everything. It prevents you from seeing too far, just in general. But then there are ebbs and flows. The mist itself pouring almost like water and pooling at your feet as you walk through it. The only sounds are the just continual crunch of sticks and leaves underneath your feet, the distant murmuring of water, and the occasional comment from the people who are following you. As you go, you eventually see coming out of the mist, rearing in such a creepy way, just first the antlers and then the skull itself, and you walk right by it. Nobody daring to touch it. Everyone kind of moving around it in a very solemn, quiet way. You continue to walk forward, and what's your marching order at this point? Who's leading?
Still in the rear.
I would definitely most likely tell Lestor and his group. I think it would be best if you hide, most likely, or at least wait somewhere till we figure out what's going on.
Function, make an insight check for me.
An insight check.
An insight check.
Ah, shit.
It's another kind of check that you can make.
I make you make these a lot. Yeah, thank you. Well, it was a fairly low DC. Lestor and the men that are around him, they look like they're scared shitless at this point. They are out of their minds with fear, and the only thing that's kind of holding them together is the sense of purpose that you guys are giving them. If they were to stay in one location and you were to leave, they may just lose it. You could try. You certainly could try that, but
or not.
What you see, the fear in their eyes, especially Lestor, is because they're all looking to Lestor because he's technically the captain. I will stay if you wish me to, but I really would not rather divide the party.
Yes, you know what a brave captain would do is we would stick together, correct? That's what we would do.
We certainly would.
So listen, you just stay right next to the back. You just stay to the back of us, okay?
I will guard against ambush, of course.
That's right. You just cover our rear, and you just scream like a girl if you hear or you see anything weird, okay?
Yes, like a girl, of course.
High pitch, so we can hear it.
Not a problem. Definite terror starting to creep up. Yes, don't worry. The rest of the group is really huddled together. Talverin is with them. Him and his two friends, they're all kind of there. But the group continues.
If you could, watch out for this group, okay?
Oh, I will. Don't worry. Who's leading this thing? Is it still Zuka up in the front, Zuka and Zan?
Yeah, I'm good with that. Zuka just told me the back is not always safe.
Okay, so the two monks slowly making their way. Are you guys stealthing, or how are you guys proceeding with this? Stealthing will slow you down considerably.
So wait, are we leaving the random people?
Well,
no,
yeah, we are underneath Pass Without a Trace too.
This is correct. Okay, we all need to make a stealth check, and I believe that the people are kind of following a few feet behind you guys.
Yeah. So stealth check, everyone. Yeah.
Yep, including. Thank goodness for Pass Without Trace. That's a 2,
Yes,
a 3,
nat
a 1, and a 5. All right. Aviary, super stealthy.
Nat 20. Finally.
Yeah, so 30, 27, 27, 33. A couple of these sailor guys are. They seem to be panicked. Ricket, Gricket, the guy with the broken nose. He's kind of walking along with his halfling buddy, and he's you can see him like looking behind as he walks past the skull. And as he's walking, he turns his head and he hits his head right into what seems to be a foot that is suspended from a tree. Lets out a loud yelp as he breaks his nose again. And the entire group just freezes as a second as everyone looks up into the tree, and hung and suspended above the tree is what would be a scarecrow if it were made of straw and wool. But this seems to be bits of bone and flesh. Not a human, but parts of bear that have been made into a leg, and parts of a pig that have been made into the other leg. And mismatched pieces are just strung up into what seems to be these large efficacies with deer antlers stretching out on stilts.
I don't like the looks of them apples.
As the party continues to go in, past another one, now knowing what to look for, they see posts. These posts have, again, pigs' heads. They have small birds that have been splayed out and defeathered, and they're just like cooked chickens, but rotting in the open. Continue to go, and then finally, the trees, they break. As you walk, you and Xanthar and Zuka are the first ones that feel this. As you step out there, the hard packed earth of what used to be of what is the forest, you step and you feel your foot sink. It's not a squelch. It's soft soil. And you look about you and you realize that there are rows of what was once tilled or maybe upturned soil, like it's a field of some type. You look around behind you and you see there's a broken, ragged fence with several posts. I mean, most of the posts are missing. The wood has been long gone. The field itself is overgrown, but the soil, it seems there was some type of attempt at cultivation here. Zan and Zuka, I need you guys to make a perception check for me, please.
Well, we're rolling perception god. Can I tell if it's recently tilled?
Mm-hmm. Zan, make a perception check for me, too. All right, fair and easy enough. You look and even though you step on it and you know that it's different feeling because it's flat, it's been cared for. It looks like it was cared for a long time ago. It's overrun with bushes. There are small saplings that are kind of coming up from in between. It was once a long time ago cultivated, but at this point it looks dilapidated and abandoned. As you continue, you see what might have been the remains of a building at some point. You can definitely see that there's a wall, but you don't know if you're inside or outside of it. It's pretty old. Eventually you find what looks to be a footpath, and following that footpath you see there are several other buildings. And Zuka, as you round this crest, you realize that this is a place you know. You're certainly in a place that you've been before. And it brings back a flood of awful memories. You realize that these houses weren't left, they were burned. Their owners didn't get up and leave, they were killed, they were slaughtered. You know that your house is... Sorry?
Do I see where my old house would have been? I mean, I'm assuming I'm in my old village.
Yes, you know where your old house was at one point. It wasn't part of the main thoroughfare. It was off a little bit as your parents were kind of poor farmers. Going back there would be difficult, but you could if you want to.
I mean, are we on the fields where my family would work? I mean, is that what we ended up on right now?
No, these were the Swinards. These were some of your neighbors that you had. They had a little girl. You kind of thought the girl was cute before she died. It was a long time ago, and it brings back some really painful memories. The Mrs. Swinard, she had a really good pumpkin pie, and you know that they were like pumpkin and gourd farmers. They had a lot of those, a lot of mushrooms, things like that. But this field, as it is, it hasn't been used in years.
I'll stop suddenly and motion to Zan and kind of beckon him over. I mean, is Zan in front of me, or is he right next to me?
He's right next to you, yeah.
Okay. And I'll be like, hey, I just realized where we're at.
Yeah.
And this is where I was born. This is my hometown.
Oh.
And Zan, as you look around, it's the shittiest looking like hometown you've ever seen. It's completely dilapidated, ruined, abandoned, burned. It's like
I guess
Louisville.
your parents. I guess you don't have any family left here.
No. If you remember, the Blood Pact destroyed this village, and I'm barely escaped. I don't know what ever happened to anyone else in the village.
Are you okay being here?
The rest of the group at this point has kind of come up and they've gathered around what you two guys are talking about. They're listening.
It's painful, but I think it best if we try and move quickly. And, and try and keep moving. I think that's best.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you there.
Aviary, with your passive perception, as they're having this conversation, you see a flicker of movement off to the right. You turn, and it is dark, it is foggy, it is difficult to see, but you're certain you saw a flicker of movement behind what seems to be one of the larger huts, one of the more intact, still standing huts over there.
That's it. Okay. How far apart are we as a group?
You are all clustered together in like a 5-foot radius. Y'all are all like right there.
Then I would whisper, like, point that way. I would whisper, Zuka. Something that way.
And as he points to that, do I recognize? Would that be old Baba's house? Would that be, what would that be?
Yeah. So old Baba's house was a little ways off. You actually never went there. You just heard people talk about it.
Okay.
You like adventure, like you try to get close to it as a kid to prove how brave you are, but you never really went that way. It was the old kind of town home, the place where people would meet for town meetings or for large gatherings or ceremonies. That kind of longhouse that was in the center of the village. That's what Aviary is kind of pointing to at this point.
Okay. Yeah, that's I think that's where we always get together as a village. It's interesting that it's not as destroyed, though. But you said you saw something?
Yeah.
Okay, Aviary and Zuka, go ahead and make perception checks for me real quick. Okay, Aviary. As they're looking that way, you see what seems to be some sort of creature fleeing away from behind this larger longhouse. They, whatever it is, vanish into the distance. It's a smaller creature. It's Xanthar. Are you a bard? What the hell's going on here? It's smaller. It's not like large or anything. It's not. It maybe a halfling, maybe a young child, perhaps. But something was fleeing away from the direction of where you guys are.
I'm not chasing it.
What did you see, Abe?
I don't know. Something's fleeing that way. I'm not chasing it.
Okay. Do you see what direction it ran off towards? Okay. Was it God was whatever this creature was that fleeing towards kind of the direction that we're heading, or?
So you guys are kind of heading in a forward direction. This creature fled off to the right. That's also the direction from where your old home was.
Oh, where it fled off to the right. That's strange. That's kind of where I believe that's where my home was.
Shall we look into this, Zuka? I will go with you if you like.
I am curious, but it's also up to the party. It doesn't make sense to risk just based on my curiosity.
We're super vulnerable. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, we're here. I mean, what? There's this. Love you, buddy, but your hometown is creepy as fuck.
Wasn't always this way.
I imagine this. Yeah, I imagine it was not quite like this. But we felt like we were being drawn this direction or forced this direction. Literally the only living thing we've maybe seen. Seems like we might as well check it out.
Okay.
My vote would be to look into it.
Let's do it. That's fine. Let's get to the bottom of it, and then let's get the hell out of here.
I will go with you.
Okay, as you take your first step, the entire crowd of sky pirates, they're all bunched up together, and they are like following every single step. They are absolutely terrified, and the only bit of sanity that they have is that they're following these fearless adventurers. Zuka, Xanthar, and Function now, as you guys step around what was once a longhouse. And I say it's still standing as in the walls just haven't decided which way they're going to fall over. You see jagged arrowheads stuck into the stone. You see what looks like was a rusty cudgel just snapped in half that's sticking between two pieces of mortar. There are some skeletons. There's a skull that you pass by that looks like it was just slain and dropped down. You continue along the way, and as you begin to go in the direction Aviary kind of pointed, Zuka, you are the first one to notice this, but you see what seems to be a light. Some type of soft glow directly ahead of you, directly in the direction that you're traveling. And as you get a little bit closer, the rest of you kind of see it as you shift between some of the trees. There it is. You see what seems to be a yellowish, orangish, warm glow.
Is it near my home, or is it just out in the open?
Man, make a history check real quick. Yeah, this was your home over there, or was it? You know, as a kid, you get in the cart, you don't drive anywhere, so you don't know like distances and stuff. But maybe this is the direction of where you live. You're not sure. It's been a long time since you've been home.
You guys want to check out that? Do you see it?
Let's check it out.
Okay, so as you get a little bit closer, you finally notice that it's a cabin. It's a large cabin, and it looks like there was once a enormous tree that grew here, and it looks almost as if the tree had been pulled up, and the roots all reach out about 20 or 30 feet and then finally timbered down. The house itself was built in between these roots, almost underneath this tree. Surrounding the entire house is a fence. It's a very thick stonework fence, and as you get closer to the house itself, where you see the small fire through the windows, it looks like there's a warm glow going through. Each post of the fence looks like it has a skull, some type of creature. Some of these smaller squirrel skulls. Sometimes there's a dead tortoise, like a tortoise shell. There are fish along different ways, but every single fence post has some type of creature that has died that they've put on there, that they've let to rot, let to sun bleach. let out, but there's easily an opening that allows you to go in towards the front door. As you approach a little bit closer, you see the door slam close. It was the first sound that you've heard in quite a while. What are you doing? You're on mute.
Would you like
There you go.
Go ahead,
Would you
Function.
like Would you like me to go in first?
Maybe as opposed to trying to sneak in, we try and let them know we're here. So that way, if they are friendly,
So
Obviously.
we just knock on the door?
yeah, we can do that.
Okay, so Function, as you guys are having this conversation outside of outside of the fence perimeter, as you step over into the area of inside of this fence, you immediately notice that the interior of this fence, there is no grass. It is completely dirt, almost a muddy type substance. You do notice sporadically around the house. The house is very, I don't want to say ramshackle, but there's a bunch of cages, and there are all kinds of knickknacks on the outside. It's like a trailer home essentially, but much larger than that. And you notice along the edges of the roof that is kind of helping fill in the parts that aren't covered by the gaps in the roots. There are carvings. Go ahead and make a perception check for me on those carvings.
Okay, and then so everything outside of the fencing area is kind of like lush and green, and then you're saying
Outside of the fence is, yes, absolutely. It's a
So
green
there's a
forest
difference?
and
Okay.
very, very stout difference.
Okay.
See what you can do for perception for me.
Got it.
Yeah, nailed it. Man, it is dark, and while you're trying to see what that is, as you're stepping forward, the front door opens, and opening the door is this thin, frail, but excessively long arm, as it swings open, and they're hunched over, probably 6 or 7 feet tall, huge, large, but long and gangly, with hair that has just matted to her face and strung down. You can see her in the firelight.
Oh.
Is this ugly, hideous woman, bent over, hunched back. She opens the door and looks you over. She licks her lips. Her nose is crooked and broken, long. Her teeth are gnarled and missing mostly. She looks at you. She says, "It seems we have visitors.
Hello.
Please,
Yeah.
come in." She slowly turns and walks in, leaving her door wide open.
I'm just gonna turn back to Xanthar and Zuka and just say, "Yep, it's another old woman. Most likely she's about to die." And then I turn and I say, "Hello, Nemesis 6 here. Hello."
The door is wide open.
Hey, God, from where I was at, would I have recognized her?
You've never seen this person. You have a strong suspicion as to who it might be.
And what is my strong suspicion?
I think you named her earlier
Okay.
in this session.
Old Baba? Okay.
I've got a strong
Baba.
suspicion.
Alright, yeah. Well, hey, I'll play along. I'll go in with Function if he's brave.
Okay. Zuka, because you have better vision than Function does, as you're walking towards this front door, and again, it's a door, and it's in between these ancient gnarled roots that have come down from the top of this tree. The tree itself goes up, and it's essentially dead, split off. It does have a couple of small branches. Those branches have gallows, essentially nooses hanging from them. You also notice in the back that there is a large, what looks to be these large monolithic stones that look almost like blunt teeth, arranged in a circle around, probably 10 foot around. In the middle of that circle, you see a The only grass within the yard is built into a swirl. It looks like it's grown into that. They're covered in runes, and as you walk a little bit closer to the house itself, the shingles on the house, they have carvings on them, and you can see carvings of peppermints and carvings of licorice and carvings of Tootsie Rolls, candy all over the roof. And even carved into some of the roots, you see what seem to be like candy cane peppermint stripes that come down. It's a very disturbing, strange, and out of place example. To the left, you also see a garden. The first time you've seen any, other than the grass, you see the growth of what seem to be mushrooms. All kinds of mushrooms, very strange, unique, and odd plants. And even a few caged animals. You hear the squeak of a bat. You hear the croak of a frog. As you continue by, are you going into the hut itself?
Not by myself, but yeah, with whoever's coming with me.
Okay.
Who's
Is everybody
coming
going
with
in?
Function's going.
Okay.
Should we leave that part of the party outside and have someone to stand guard?
We did. We left Ave, Okabar, and Talv back there.
Yeah, Okabar and Talvern are both like, I don't want to go in there, thank you.
Ave, are you
Go
wanting to come with us?
Sure.
Okay. So Okabar and Tal will stay behind.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll come
But
too.
all four of us will go.
Easy. Okay. So Function, you're the first one in the door, and you kind of step in, and the immediate just thing that hits you is the smell. It smells of earthy odors, and then perfumes, and then it smells of bat shit, and then immediately it smells of candle. The amount and array of aromas that just hits you it's jaw dropping if you had a jaw. And as you step in, the room is absolutely just cluttered with knickknacks, cages, chairs, grown into the sides of the plant itself, the tree. It is just absolutely full. It has... Hold on. Let's see here. You see jars of eyeballs. And as you walk a little bit closer, all of the eyeballs point directly at you. You see the head of a dwarf being hung by its beard upside down. You see black boxes, oval-shaped discs that kind of spin lazily on their own. You see a painting of a dusky field that seems to have the clouds slowly moving. There's a lot of knickknacks, is what I'm getting into. Cages of frogs, foxes, rabbits, bats. So you hear the occasional of frogs or the squeak, squeak, squeak of bats. And you step in there, and there are 7 chairs arranged around a fireplace. And in front of the fireplace, you see, dressed in a completely white nightgown shawl, probably a 9-year-old girl, who her hair is matted down. She's bent over and hunched, and she's holding a tray, serving tea into each of the chairs. Right next to each chair is a small little stump or some type of small table where she's putting tea. And as she looks up at you, Function, you can see she has one long tooth, a large mole. One of her eyes is almost matted shut. She's got a couple scars. Very ugly 9-year-old girl. And as you get closer, she hurries up and she puts them down and she runs out. Function, you're staying there. The rest of the group joins you, and you hear as this elderly, decrepit woman stalks out from behind what looks to be a pantry.
We have visitors. Please, take a seat. Have some tea.
Well,
She gestures again
I
towards the
would if I
seats.
could. But I will definitely have a seat.
I don't say anything, John.
Okay.
But I immediately take a seat but don't grab the tea. But you're going to see me kind of eyeing the woman and just trying to look for anything familiar.
Oof, make a history check real quick.
Okay. Come on.
I mean, it's you know immediately that it's no one you've ever seen, but judging from the stories, from the rumors, this is definitely Old Lady Baba. And one thing you notice as you're looking at her, she's hideous, she's malformed, and she has a huge, just scabbed over wound on her cheek right here, and she has just a few teeth missing, and she's just as hideous of an old woman as you can imagine. Did the rest of you guys sit down?
I'd like to sit down
I'll
and
sit down, but I'm not gonna.
I'd like to look at the
I'm
old
not gonna
lady
drink
and
the tea. I'll
say,
just sit down.
um,
Go ahead.
I'll just- well, grandmother, we don't know. You know, I'll be honest, we're surprised to find anybody in these woods. How does it come that you're here?
These are good questions. I love having company. It's been too long since you've been home. Surely you've heard tales of Grandma Baba, yes?
Hey,
Yes.
as you're looking around, there are a lot of unique things that do not belong in this biome. Things that you've only seen in the Fae, or that you've only seen in the Blood Moss Forest. Collections from the deep sea, collections from the highest mountains. There's a lot of things here, a lot of unique knickknacks and trinkets that do not belong in this area. It must have taken a lifetime to collect all this. Go ahead, Zan.
I mean, who hasn't heard of old Grandma Baba? But what brings you here of all places?
As you're speaking, she's just touching the scab on her face, just picking at it.
We don't have to play games. I know what you need. You need to be away from here. I can help you. For a price, of course.
Name your price.
Well, it does depend. I believe that my little birds have told me that you need to be away from here. To a city in the northwest, yes?
Yeah.
I can make this happen.
Get us to the city, or get us out of the deep woods.
It depends on what you're offering.
Well, it depends on the price.
Me a deal. Yes, I can get you into the very place that you wish to go. I can get you into your own beds if you would like. Or I can just get you immediately out of the woods, hundreds of miles from where you wish to be. It depends on what you know.
Well, to know what to offer up for trade, we have to know what you like. You know, are you a book person? Are you a weapons person? Are you a magic person?
Nothing so material, my love. No. When you live to be as old Baba, you begin to take pleasure in the misery of others. I did not mean to speak ill of you, but I have seen much suffering in your futures. Much desire, much want, and I wish to capitalize on that. You will not get out of this woods alone without my help. It is not a threat, it is just the magic of the deep woods. And the deep woods are very upset after someone, and I'm not saying who, but someone has broken the City of Leaves peace. Repeatedly. At this point, she's
almost pulling the scab off. It just against her face.
Well, if it's nothing material, and it's the misery that you're after, how can we help provide that? Because we do want to get to where we're going. Because we do have things that we want to accomplish. And I've heard of you. And I don't know if you remember me. And I'll remove my cloak and my mask. And I'll say, I grew up here once. Do you remember me?
I remember you, little bone swallow. I remember a little one daring his friends to see how closely they could get to old Baba's hut. I do not forget such things easily.
How is it that the village was destroyed, but yet your hut remains?
Oh, I have protections that help me. Whomever it was that killed your parents, they did not wish to entangle themselves with old Baba. Please, please, let us drink our tea. It is the first step of negotiation.
It is not poisoned.
I'll drink the tea.
Zan drinks. Zuka, do you drink?
Yeah. But as I'm drinking, I'm gonna look her in her eyes and be like, we had much respect for you, even though as a child I didn't know what I was doing. I know you did a lot of good for my family, so I'm trusting you now.
Her hands are like each finger is maybe a foot long. Her hands are just enormously sized, and she keeps curling and uncurling them. She looks at Function. Function, did you drink your tea?
I do not actually excuse me.
You
I
need
do
some
not
tea.
actually require such. Yeah, right. I do need some tea now. I do not actually require sustenance.
Ah, I know.
She takes her hands and a huge 2 fingers snap, and immediately the little ugly 9-year-old girl comes out. She holds out her hand, just very subservient. Everyone can see how just hideously grotesque she is. It looks like she's been burned, acne scars, just buck teeth, just terrible. She offers up to you, Function, a small stone.
The fates have told me that drinking with a stone seems to be your preferred method. Will this help in your imbibement of my hospitality?
Possibly. You know, we've actually seen your kind many of times. I would warn you,
Really?
they tend to pass away or fade away after we visited them. And then I drop the rock
Mm-hmm.
from a tall angle to where it splashes out most of whatever's in the cup.
Okay. As far as you can tell, it's tea.
Yeah, sure. And then I will take a sip and then put it back down.
Okay.
Like a sip.
If you think old Baba is just some old woman, you're sorely mistaken.
That's what they all said.
At this point, she looks at you.
Yes, I can see it. You thirst, not for drink or for lack, but for knowledge. If you wish to be gone from this place, where you wish to go, I must take from you. She reaches into her mouth, pulls out a tooth. There's just a long line of spittle, and she looks at it and she sets it down on the small coffee table in front of her. And she taps it down. I would take your ability to read.
Did you just say to read?
To read. And for you, the one of the forest.
There's two elves here and an Eric Cochran. Who are you talking to?
She's looking straight at you, Aviary. She pulls out what looks to be a molar from the back. It's rotten, cavities everywhere. She sets it down right next to it. There's a long line of spittle still on it. She sets it down, puts her finger on it. From you, I would require everlasting allegiance to nature and an aversion to civilization. For you, you half-elven freak, you wish to make your grandfather proud. This one comes out with no problem, like it was already just kind of sitting there. She puts another tooth on the table. Perhaps if you never see your grandfather again, that would satisfy my need, if you wish to travel. And you who lives with your hands, always stunning and punching. This one she has a little trouble with. She kind of turns. This one, some blood falls on the floor and just spatters. Perhaps if you give me your hands, I would let you travel. Any of these would meet my price.
Any one of them?
Yes, they would cause untold misery. I can taste it.
Okay, I accept, and I take the tooth, I put it in the tea, and I drink it.
Well, thank God, because I was not giving up reading.
And I'm not going to stand.
Very good. Very good. She finally just pulls off the scab, and you see just the blood start to run down her cheek. And there's a small maggot writhing around the flesh that's just been pockmarked and eaten away. It is a deal then. Come, I will take you and all of your friends wherever you need to go.
To Eridace.
To Eridace. Of course. Starts to shamble out of
wait,
the... stands
Zuka.
up. Yep.
I'm sorry. Zuka. I know we haven't talked about this before, but will you join us on our journey?
Of course. I think at this point our destinies are entwined.
Well,
I want to know why our urn was stolen.
Oh, trust me, you'll get a lot of that. Yes,
Aviary.
to Eridace.
The little teacup that you have, it's more of a survival, like, tin pitch, like a little tin cup that you would expect to find like on a small like town like that. And as you drink down whatever's left, you see the blood kind of mixing with the tea, and as it goes down your throat, you begin to feel a bit of a tingling sensation throughout your entire body. First, it starts internally, like it's an alcohol almost, but it begins to wander its way out and into all of your feathers. As you're holding it, you begin to feel a burning sensation from the tea, and you look at the tea itself. The tea is not warm, but it's almost as if the touching of metal on your skin begins to burn, begins to just sizzle, and you eventually drop. Everyone else sees dong, 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 the cup fall on the ground as Aviary's finger just starts to sizzle. You took 1d4 points of damage when you touched metal, and you took 1 point of damage. It was a shitty roll, but you begin to think, oh fuck, and you begin to become really uncomfortable in this area of carved wooden planks, solid iron nails all around you. For the first time in your life, you begin to almost feel as if you had a stuffed up nose, but you don't really have a nose. Hold on 1 second. This has gone. And you begin to become almost just, you can't stand to be inside this enclosed space. You have to get outside, get out of doors. And as the old hag is shambling by you, she gives you a very wicked sideways grin and opens the door. She says, Come this way. All of the people at the beginning, the entrance of the gate, they're all like just freaking out. You may come. What are you guys doing?
I would follow.
Okay, everybody follows. She leads you out to this large stone circle of 13 stone pillars set into a row. The middle is the grass, just it's grown into a strange spiral, and she ushers all of the crew, all of the people, everybody, including the party, to stand in the center of those 13 stones. And as she begins to chant in her own language, you begin to look around, and the mist forms up, and it begins to really solidify and really, truly become thick. As in between each stone, you see what is the form of a small 9-year-old, 10-year-old girl in between each stone. All of them holding a small candle, just chatting, just going over and over, saying the same words. And as they say that, you begin to see the grass light up in the spiral, just swirling towards the center. As the party all gathers up and gathers close, the circle starts to swirl all the way to the very middle, and as soon as the very last bit of grass flashes up, there's a brilliant blast of yellow light. All the runes on each of the stones begins to light up as the entire party disappears in a flash of light. These colors, all of the colors of the rainbow, not just darkness of lightness of every different range you can see, begin to flash by your eyes. Images, things that you've seen in the last couple of days, things that you may see in the next couple of days. Just going forward, your stomach lurches, it drops to the very bottom. You feel like you're about to heave. Each of you just sick, just from the absolute just change in momentum of being still, going 100 miles an hour, and then all of a sudden, each of you just stops as if you're about to throw up. You look around, and for those of you that have been here, you're now in the dead center of Eridus. And that's where we're going to stop.
Just a side note, this is Function actually attempting to throw up. He just leans over, he goes, All
right. So, Zuka, you've never been here before. Zan, Aviary, and everyone else. You guys realize this is that same pavilion where that one building blew the fuck up because of where the dynamite was. And you all look around and you see a bunch of guards immediately on alert as this party of 20 people just appeared in light. And I will say that Aviary, because you appeared on cobblestones, your feet, your talons immediately begin to burn, and you take up to the sky as a reaction. And we're gonna leave it there.
Oh God! What did you do, Aviary?
You took that deal real quick, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, I was just saying,
Look,
of all those deals,
it sounded the easiest to deal with out of the four.
I mean,
honestly.
yeah. I was like, shit. I can't. Nope. I'm not taking that deal. So I'm like, I'm either someone's either taking the deal or I'm straight up making the first move. So if none of y'all were gonna do that, I was looking at my sheet. Or like, all right, what's my first move? Because I was about to like shoot her or something. And I feel like Zan, you're nodding your head because you probably would have done the same.
I just feel like my deal isn't directly tied to my fucking powers, so it would have maybe made more sense.
You can
That's
never
not
be a grandfather again. But isn't he the head of your guild, though? Right?
Maybe I've been trying to kill him the whole time.
Oh, maybe. That's the mystery with Zan.
Yeah, and if they were here today, Okubar, since he has an unending thirst to forget, his deal would have been: you're never drunk, you're always hungover, and you're always thirsty.
That sucks.
And then
Well,
Talvin would have, since he has a quest for anonymity, he wants to hide everywhere. He would have been everywhere you go. They will always recognize you.
He'll be infamous.
Yeah, he will be a celebrity no matter where he goes. That would have been his deal.
I still would have tried to take mine first out of those.
Yeah, Aviary, you got the worst out of all of it. I'm not gonna lie.
where's the dude using Stunning Strike?
We'll see.
And yet
Well-
you took it the quickest. That's what I'm saying. Like, you were like, yeah, I'll take it. Fuck it. Let's do it.
As long as we didn't all have to do it, I was fine with that.
All right, right on. Hey,
Jared,
well,
I'm gonna let you know I turned the lights off in my room because it was already creepy, and I was like, I'm gonna make it creepier. My wife like opened the door. She's like, "Why are your lights off?" And I was like, "There's creepy things happening. Don't worry about it."
So yeah, that was my
move.
first attempt at horror, and I feel like it went pretty well. Yeah, you guys dug into it.
It was a good one. Oh, the teeth.
It's hard to do. I appreciate it.
The teeth
I
were crazy.
legitimately almost threw up watching Darren's face during your descriptions. It was disgusting.
She was gross, man.
Yeah,
You
listen.
didn't let me play with it either. Like you yipped it. Okay.
You kept pulling off. I mean, you kept pulling off the damn scab and picking at it. Ew!
Let me talk